They're the future of New Orleans.
The next generation.
Juveniles.
Children in the community.
And the next mayor will need a plan to support the youngest citizens of the city. I'm Devin Bartolotta with WWL Louisiana, and this is just one of the many issues we're exploring as we get closer to our WWL Louisiana mayoral debate on September 16th. We got some perspective from an expert.
I am Morgan Shannon, Executive Director of the New Orleans Children and Youth Planning Board.
Can you just tell me what is the most pressing matter for the youth in New Orleans right now as you see it?
I probably can't just say one. They all are pressing. Young people aren't living single issue lives. A lot of times, if young people are housing insecure, they might be economically challenged, they might be criminal justice involved, their learning opportunities can be slim to none. And so all of the issues that meet at those intersections are pressing for young people.
All three of the top candidates in this race have talked about the need for fixing some of the problems that our youth face, whether that's investing in things like NORD and fixing the criminal justice system for children in our city. But that's such a complex, layered thing. Can you talk to that a little bit, please?
There's over 115,000 young people living in New Orleans under 25. So that's nearly a third of our population. And challenges are citywide. We have housing instability, we have low wages, we have schools that can't meet needs, we have unsafe places. We have heard some of the things that the top three candidates want to do. The good thing for the top three candidates and for all of the people who are running for office is that we have a plan. We have a youth master plan. And that youth master plan was created in 2020 by youth serving organizations, but more importantly about young people, that really lays out what a guide, what a roadmap to 2030 would look like in all of the child wellness indicators. So that includes safety and justice, that includes youth voice, so making sure that youth are at the decision table, health and well-being, safe places, learning, and economic stability. And so we really want the candidates running to really focus on holistic needs for young people, and also to commit to not perpetuating false and damaging narratives about young people that are often taken outside of context of New Orleans and used to enforce unfair policies at the state and federal level. And we've also made a lot of progress too, so we want to acknowledge that. We put money into restorative justice programs that are alternates to locking young people up. We've given money to Mbutu to our NOLA peace ambassadors that we know reduce crime. We've allocated some money to workforce pathways. We did Opportunity Pass, which is free transit for young people 16 to 24. We've passed early care millages to make sure that our young people 0 to 5 have quality centers. And so we need to expand on these people policies. We need to make sure that our elected officials are listening to what is already done.
Can you talk to the difference between the end goal and how you get there and how important it is to have the right pathway?
The right pathway is really important, and the right people who are executing. The plan is only as good as the amount of people who believe in it and are executing it. And so that's why the Youth Master Plan is so important, because we've been doing that already. A lot of the folks that are running have been Youth Master Plan ambassadors because they were already on the city council, have actually even passed policies that are youth friendly. But it has to go beyond what we're saying in terms of hyper focus on the East. And while those things are important, we have youth that need help at all places, and the policies have to be intersectional in their approach. They have to include our most vulnerable, because that way we will get everybody. And we really have to listen to young people and allow them to lead. I think that we know some critical data points here are that 43% of Black children in New Orleans live in poverty, and that's generational. We can count that back for a couple of generations. Households account for 29% of Orleans Parish families. And we know that we have a big population loss. And so elected officials should be asking, what will it take for young people to want to stay here in a city that prides itself on generational living and culture and all of those things?
As New Orleans shifts leadership next year, we've got a new mayor for sure, possibly a new sheriff, possibly some new city council members, what kind of priorities would you like to see in place, even in the first 100 days, to go along with the master plan? What aligns? What would you like to see?
I definitely would want to see a lot of listening and going into the different communities, really meeting people where they are. A lot of people don't even get a chance to go to City Hall. And so going to areas that are going to the lower nine and seeing that there's no educational buildings there, there's no schools there, and understanding how long it might take a young person to be able to get to a different school. So in the first 100 days, I want to see some conversations with young people, with key informants to make sure that they are understanding what has been done. Hopefully, some of the initiatives that are under the current administration that have been working aren't gutted just to separate yourself from the administration, that you really listen and see what progress has been made so that we can maintain our forward course. But we're looking for job pipelines that lead to high wages. We're looking for affordable housing and reliable infrastructure. We're looking for a dependable public safety system and more money allocated. Now we know that we're money strapped. And oftentimes when we're money strapped, we discontinue the most essential services. But there's no safety nets here for us. There's no safety nets here. And the state has already gutted everything. The federal government has gutted a lot of things. And we simply can't afford it. Louisiana is a poor city and New Orleans is the cash cow for the city. And so what kind of positionality are our elected officials going to take to make sure, and quite frankly, I also would like to know how you're going to make sure that our young people are safe with all of these threats that are looming into our city. How are you going to make sure that our young people aren't over policed and then caught up in systems that they cannot get out? And so I'm looking for these next set of elected officials to do their tours, do their rounds, and not ceremoniously, but really some deep listening. And we have the solutions and we have the actions. We don't have to necessarily reinvent the wheel. More of listening, and not just listening to your trusted messengers. What does it look like to listen to people who maybe didn't necessarily want you in that office, but you really need to listen to them because they hold the community in which we make sure that it's equitable and justice for all.
A big thank you to Morgan at the New Orleans Children and Youth Planning Board for all of those insights. The Children and Youth Planning Board is also hosting a town hall led and created by young people. It's Saturday, September 20th at noon at McDonough 35. They say this is festival style with fun things to do and opportunities to hear from candidates for mayor and for city council. And you can hear from those candidates for mayor Tuesday as well during our WWL Louisiana debate. It all begins at 6:30 on September 16th on WWL Louisiana and WWL Plus.